The world is full with stupid people, fools, numbskulls, nookies, whatever you want to say, and that's no surprise. Despite us being God's chosen and the most capable of building things no other species could, you got folks out here licking toilet seats for a trend, and the odd bunch drinking cologne because it smells sweet. But then there's another group whose action not only puts themselves in immediate danger, but others as well. And that's people who think we live in an old Disney film where you could pet anything. Animals that aren't currently domesticated like dogs or cats haven't been domesticated for a reason, and even these can lash out on occasion with dogs killing thousands every year. So, with this in mind, why would you think a brown bear would let you get mere inches away from it to have an interaction? You know what's the main cause of this aside from the lack of self-preservation? It's when people see influencers with exotic pets or persons who are trained to handle wild animals and think they can do the same. For the most part, a lot of these exotic animal keepers are competent and know what their animals are and how to behave. And the professionals like the young man have experience doing what they do, and efforts like theirs actually aiding conservation while also clearly showing that these animals are wild. But this main character syndrome somehow still kicks in, and some random person will try to pick up a rattlesnake or something because they saw someone else do it. When I go back to my birth state being Florida, possibly in a year or 3, I want to get a rhino viper. I have some experience with vipers like fer-de-lances or labaria, where the country I grew up in calls them. By the way, no means am I a professional, but it's something of a familiarity with the animal. But still, I know I have to get licensed and documented working with that specific animal for months or even a year before I get it, and I am willing to do that for my safety, the animal's safety, and anyone else in that area. These are truly beautiful snakes that cost an arm and a leg, but I've always wanted one. But who knows, maybe I'm in over my head and will decide to get something significantly less challenging later down the road. But before that, I'm sure you've seen it. Weird Birds Part 3 is complete, so expect a video on that soon. It was kinda hard for me to miss it even if I tried, to be honest, from you guys in the comments raving about it, and my Discord members flooding the channel. Speaking of Discord, you see this right here? These? Yeah, that's art from our events. So if you're a Picasso or got rejected from art school, you could try your hand at one of these events. And if you just like dinosaurs or anything with big teeth, to be honest, you're gonna love the server. Anyway, with that over, let's get into the very first video of someone trying to pet or get too close to a wild animal. On YouTube, no one was seriously harmed or injured in any of these videos, so don't demonetize me for everything that's holy. We're gonna start off on a high note with someone putting their child in immediate danger. We all know deer, those big-eyed idiots who will run more than 50 miles per hour if a leaf falls, but look, 4 tons of metal moving more than 80 miles per hour dead on. And while yes, they are more likely to choose flight over fight, sometimes it's the other way around. For example, stags during rut are flooded with testosterone and can become aggressive during this time, and doe will sometimes put their life on the line to protect their calves. If I have to guess, that could be the reason why this happened. A lot to take away from this. First of all, you should have your parent license revoked if that's possible, and 2, why would you even let your kid get to this point? Could you imagine having a toddler you spent 2 or 3 years raising and caring for without any misses, but then plopping them in a dangerous situation because you thought it would be a cute video? This lady, or at least I think it's the lady behind the camera, just films as her baby gets closer and closer towards the door, who's showing every single sign of aggression in the book. Ears pointed straight upwards, rigid stance, and heavy breathing. But nope, she thought Bambi's mother wanted a hug, but instead her baby got dropped immediately. Thankfully the child is okay, I think, and didn't get too scuffed up. More than likely the doe had Bambi somewhere not too far and thought the toddler was a threat, so she looked at the situation, but when the child got too close, it sprung into action. This one clearly is the parents' fault because at 3 you don't know what to do. However, sometimes kids do get what they deserve, as harsh as that sounds, and one of the funniest videos I've seen was a kid getting too close to a bison. Alright, maybe this one wasn't so deserved. I was in fact being harsh, but he's still at an age where he should know what the better choice was. I'm going to have charitable thinking here and say the kid was probably trying to get to the other side of the bridge, but was still too close to the 1-ton meat wall. And all it took was one final step for him to set this thing off.
Copyrighted music. Hey, hey, copyrighted music. You know I gotta mute that copyrighted music. Hey, hey, copyrighted music. Yeah, yeah, copyrighted music. Hey, hey, copyrighted music. You know I gotta mute that copyrighted music.
You know, that's the first time I've seen a bison actually chase someone down for that long. Poor chap's pants must have been soaked after. What's crazy is that the dad just watched as his son almost got trampled. My guy, you're supposed to give wisdom. Even though the kid's like 7 or 8 and should know not to get closer, be a dad and tell him to get back. I really don't know 100% what happened. I hope that it was in fact the kid just trying to cross to the other side instead of getting closer for a pic. Like the next guy who tried to get close to a bison. You know what I find fascinating is the fact that none of these people would dare get within even 30 feet of a traditional bull, but feel it's okay to get close to a bison bull. Yes, they are somewhat used to cars and tourists, but from a distance, what do you think is gonna happen if you go right next to its face to take a picture? You zoom, you idiot.
The tourist wanted to see a bison up close. Boy, did he ever. Like a fry cook flipping a pancake, the bison flips the tourist up into the air, where the tourist achieves what basketball players call hang time. As soon as he's back on solid ground, the shocked tourist gets the heck out of there, vowing never to return to Yellowstone, where they just let the animals run wild.
This is a cow farm. You're gonna find cows outside.
So yeah, I think this guy got away with a puncture wound, which isn't that bad considering what tossed him. But damn, that was a smooth toss. I rated 8.7 out of 10. My only critique is that the flip could have been more smooth if it hooked him from the lower end. What do you guys think? What do you rate the flip? In all seriousness though, this one was deserved. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And the stupid game was trying to get within 2 feet of a wild bison, and the prize was a puncture. Seriously YouTube, the guy is okay though, so calm down. So far it's been people going up to herbivores because they think they won't attack them because they munch on plants. But this video showcases a guy trying to pull the same stunt with a bear, a grizzly from the looks of it. It's not recommended you feed any bears. There are signs in almost every state that have them that you should not do this, even in my state. That's because bears will associate you or the location with food, and when there's no food when they pop up, things can get ugly. Black bears are taken the least seriously out of all the bears in North America due to them being the smallest, but these things are still dangerous and kill people. But they're the least likely to slime you. Not saying they won't, just saying that they're the least likely to. There's a reason people say you could fight a black bear if your life depends on it, but if it's a grizzly, lay down and hope for the best. These things are absolute giants, with some subspecies of brown bears like the Kodiaks reaching more than 1,500 pounds. So I don't know if this guy thought he was Goldilocks, maybe he manifested it because I don't know what possessed him to do this. I'm such at a loss for words. He got out of his car and walked up to a wild brown bear and thought he could tame it by feeding it some food. And I don't wish death upon this guy or anyone in this video for the record, but at what point is it just natural selection? This animal clearly is not comfortable. Yes, it's eating the food because, hey, it's free food. But it's clearly nervous. It's moving very fast, darting almost, and looking around. So with the bear giving this guy every signal in the book to drop the bag and back off, he decides to just stand there and lean towards the bear, which sets off a trigger and leads to charging him. He was lucky that was just a mock charge, not an actual attack like a sow protecting her cubs, because no one would have been able to pull that thing off of him. But ladies and gentlemen, I introduced you to the very first video where a person not only got what they deserved, but me and everyone else was praying that the animal popped off on them. It was divine justice, if you will. If you've been on the channel for a while, then you know how I feel about moose. They're one herbivore that sets every alarm off in my book. They don't belong here. When their pupils dilate and the teeth start to shatter, it gives off Wendigo vibes. As a matter of fact, I think in some places like Alaska and Canada, moose are more feared than the bears. If any of you live in those areas or areas that have those rumors, let me know. Because for a vegetarian to be more feared than an actual bear is crazy work, but it is understandable considering that they are the largest deer species currently alive and exceed 1,400 pounds. And they're extremely aggressive, especially females protecting their calves. But still, somehow people feel the need to try to touch the animal and sometimes antagonize it. And these group of merry idiots thought it would be a good idea to antagonize a moose, and all I could say is that the outcome was well deserved.
But it's a goddamn wild animal. Get the f away from it. You idiots.
I'll cover the moose's metal expenses, man. I don't think it's gonna fuck me up.
Let it be wild. Don't have to like.
Jesus Christ, you guys must be the dumbest people I've ever met in my life.
God, come on.
Go ahead, touch it.
Go ahead, try. Go ahead, try. See what happens. See what the f happens.
See how long that leg will go.
Get the f away from the moose.
You're wishing it would hit me right now.
Yeah, I am.
Me and Poppy might hit both of you guys in the bottom.
A little closer.
If the moose don't.
A little closer.
Go on.
You guys are f***ing idiots.
Don't touch it. No, it's on your foot.
Get him.
Yeah, get him.
Yes.
Get him. Get him.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
The guy behind the camera is all of us because even I was cheering the moose on when it finally snapped at the dude. The pricks really were asking if it's their moose and behaving like absolute morons. The animal is probably nervous as hell. It's standing still and two humans are screaming loudly and moving closer and closer towards it. They even had the gall to mock the guys behind the camera, saying get the hell away from the thing and let it be wild. So when they eventually do go closer and try to touch it, it turns around and the guy tries to run and he slips. The smile on my face would make the Grinch retire, because even though I don't wish harm on anyone really, you gotta understand that they were practically begging for it. More than likely he just got away with a few bruises because the animal probably just wanted to scare him away, but hopefully the attack scared him sober. However, there are some people who will probably never learn a lesson because they never got any repercussions such as pain. But they still were minutes away from death while in contact with some of the most deadly animals on the planet. Pain is a good teacher in life, and it's taught myself and I'm sure a lot of you what to and what not to do. And yes, we all need support and reassurance for a lot of things sometimes, but other times it's best to let things happen. But when you have one of the most venomous animals on the planet in your hands that can drop you in a few minutes, someone has to step in and hit you behind the head, because they'll feel that but likely not the attack from the animal itself. Nature's rule that even the most primitive of animals know is that if it's brightly colored or has multiple bright colors, it's best to stay away. It's a warning. Something knows it's dangerous, so it isn't afraid to show itself off. The blue-ringed octopus is one of those animals. This tiny bundle of cute joy has enough venom to drop 2,000 men in minutes, despite it being the size of a tennis ball. And yet, there's people out here doing this.
It might be bad because it's citrus, you don't... Let me give him some water.
That's to your ear.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if he was saying anything.
This is one of the very few times where it's a good thing animals are really intelligent. Octopi are the smartest invertebrates in the world, and a lot are pretty tolerable when it comes to people. In this video, the animal more than likely didn't feel threatened, so it didn't have to bite. But the reason this is so dangerous, aside from her handling such a venomous animal, is that she likely wouldn't even know if it bit her. Most of the times the initial bite is painless, but symptoms can start to happen within 5 minutes. Numbness of the fingers, rapid body temperature range, dizziness, etc, etc. And within 40 minutes you can just stop breathing altogether. There's no anti-venom either, by the way. The best they can do is hook you up to a ventilator, and if you somehow knew you got bitten and came in early, you might live. But she's not an isolated case. There's other videos of people being oblivious to the time bomb they have in their hands. And it's not just blue-ring octopi, but other highly venomous animals as well, that they deem cute or pretty because of the color. Thankfully the lady didn't get bit, and now knows what animals to and not pick up if they're vibrant in color. One of the largest and most dangerous birds on the planet sometimes have their sparing moments. The Cassowary is the second heaviest bird and ratite in the world. This includes the large flightless birds like the emus and the rheas, but cassowaries are by far the most deadly and have killed people. They actually have a massive spur on their feet that can slit your throat or just gut you if they wanted. Added to their weaponry is their extreme aggression. There's a reason you often see videos of people having pet ostriches and emus, but very few having cassowaries. They are territorial, and males will kill for the chicks because they're the ones who actually care for them after they hatch. The females this time don't pay child support, and a 180-pound bird with a lethal arsenal and a bad attitude is not a good mix. But his family really lucked out, and this could have gone south really fast if the bird was in a bad mood.
Taylor, get up and move. Get up and move. Ash, get away.
This one is kind of a mixed bag because the parents couldn't really do anything in this situation, like they can't just rush in and grab the kid. Well, if it was my kid, I'd run in and snatch them. Well, guess what? You'd likely get yourself or your kid seriously maimed or killed in the process. Because if the dad had just rushed in, the bird could have been set off and attacked the child or him. More than likely the best thing he could have done was in fact tell the kid to get away or slowly approach them and take him back without making any sudden movements. Although if there's any fault I can give, it's to not let your children just run off on a beach that has signs everywhere showing cassowaries are in the area. As for the kid, I don't want to make assumptions because maybe the kid didn't hear him, but it could be an iPad kid. All it took was a look as a child for me to stop what I was doing, much less yelling. Anyway, I'm glad both of them are okay. But that's just about it for this one, folks. If this video gets 7,000 likes, I will do a part 2. Why 7,000? Well, 7 is my favorite number, so yeah. No one in this video was seriously hurt or killed, but if I wanted to, I could very easily make a video of people who were. It's just that YouTube wouldn't be too happy with me if I did that. Anyway, that's all for now, folks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you in the next video.